You get your first internship? That is the $1,000,000 question for millions of college students these days. And that is exactly what I'm going to answer on Just Ask JT. You asked for it and I deliver. So, folks, listen up. If you have a college student, maybe you're a parent watching this, you are a college student, you know a college student, and they need their first internship, this is the podcast they should listen to. I'm going to break it down step by step. I've been getting a surge of requests for this topic. And so I think it's time for me to just make it easier for all of you out there to land that very first internship. So let's first start with the definition of an internship. It is a job that is specifically meant to be an educational opportunity. So, an internship, they're not expecting you to create incredible amounts of value. Yes, you will create value on the job, but what they understand is that they're giving you a learning opportunity, or what we refer to as a working opportunity. So, internships are powerful because when you graduate from school, you don't have the experience that most employers need to hire you. And I think that this is a rude awakening for a lot of college students. They think just getting that degree is going to entitle them to a job, and it doesn't. You'll find that most companies will want to hear that you've had some kind of relevant work experience so they know that you at least have a handle on how to do things. You know how to be in an office, right? You know how to communicate with others. And so internships are the way that you prove that you have that experience. Essentially, what you're saying is, yeah, I got the degree, but I also took the time to learn how to apply what I learned by getting these internships. And so I am a strong proponent of it. I push anybody that I know that has a college student to make sure that their child gets at least one internship, usually between the summer of their junior and senior year. But truthfully, you can do them at any time. We'll talk more about how that happens in a minute. And the more internships that you have, the more marketable you are when you graduate. Now, at the time that I'm recording this, I'm going to be really, really honest because everything's temporary. But at the time I'm recording this, this is one of the worst job markets I've ever seen in my entire career. And that means that there are far fewer internships. Like, we just have this perfect storm moment happening right now where companies are laying off in droves and everyone's trying to figure out what kind of roles they need. And so companies will not tend to hire a lot of internships right now because they don't have the time or energy to train. They also know that if they post an internship, they're going to get inundated with applications. And so some companies have internship programs, but don't choose to post them. And that's another thing I want you to keep in mind, because if there's a company that you'd like to do an internship at, it doesn't mean that they don't have one just because you don't see it on the hiring board. Okay. Now, once we recognize this, we understand the competitive market and the landscape, and we understand that there's not as many publicly posted internships, we can start to think about a strategy for getting our first internship. And this is where I'd like to throw out some ideas. When we hear internship or we hear job, a lot of people immediately assume that this is a full-time paid position. It doesn't have to be. Now, there are going to be people come at me and say, it's not fair. If they work, they should be paid. But I'm going to be honest. There's nothing wrong with you volunteering or doing pro bono work that doubles as an internship. Okay. And I'm going to say it, and they're going to trust me. They're going to come for me in the comments, but I need you to hear me out. If companies aren't willing to pay you and don't have the bandwidth to hire you for an internship, but you could volunteer or do a pro bono internship for 5 hours a week, they would, one, be okay with giving that to you. Two, it's only 5 hours a week. So you could go do another full-time job that makes you a lot of cake. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And you would gain the experience and be able to put it on your resume as an internship. And this is something that a lot of people just don't think to do. I'll give you a great example. Where my kids grew up is a beach town, and the kids could make incredible money in the summer working at all of the restaurants and bars, enough money to really help them through their college years when they go to school. Okay. That's going to take up a lot of their time. But for many of them, they could do a pro bono 5 hour a week internship as a way to get practical work experience in the field they were studying in school while still being able to make a ton of money over the summer. This is a perfectly viable way to get an internship. Now, let me tell you something. If you choose correctly and align yourself and do a 5 hour a week internship someplace that creates real value, guess what usually happens? They usually pay you or give you a bonus or something. And so it also can work out in your favor. So the reason I say this is that if you can shift your mindset as to what an internship is and has to be, you can create more internship opportunities for yourself. So let's take this idea forward. If you are a student of marketing and and you can think of 20 companies in the area that you're going to live for the summer or forever, whenever you want to have this internship, you can find 20 companies that you think are doing cool things that you're like, dang, I would love to do some form of marketing for them. That lights me up because you don't have any practical work experience. So the only thing that can attract you to an employer right now is what they do for work. But what you can do is build the bucket list. That's what we call it. And you could say, here are 20 companies in my area that are doing really cool things that I would love to be able to do some marketing for. Now you can use this amazing tool called LinkedIn to go over and find all the people that work in the marketing department, right? Or whatever department that you would normally work in based on your major. Okay. You can go to all the people there and ask them to connect with you. It's free. And when you ask them to connect, it gives you the option to add a note, right? You can write a little note. And so you will say, can we connect? I'm a huge fan of your company and I had a quick question, right? And you can even say, I'm a student at XYZ University and I had a quick question. So now they know you're a student and that you're a fan and that you have a question. So they accept your connection request and not all of them will. So you're just going to reach out 4, 5, 6, 10 people there in the department and say the same thing. Big fan of the company. I am a student at XYZ. I have a quick question. All right. When they accept your connection request, you can message them and say, I'm going to be home for the summer. I'm going to be here in the area and I'm looking for a marketing internship. I'm a huge fan of your company. I was wondering if your company might be willing to have me as an intern 5 hours a week. Don't say anything about being paid or unpaid. Just they might be interested in having me 5 hours a week, right? And so is there someone you think I could talk to pitch myself as an intern? They're going to get you in touch with the right people. They're going to give you like, oh, I don't think we have budgeted for internships. And then you could be like, that's okay. I'd be willing to do a pro bono 5 hours a week, right? I really want to get the experience. So you now are getting a dialogue going with these organizations. Sometimes they're not thinking about hiring an intern because they can't even imagine like, how would I post it? And then we're going to have to deal with all these interviews. But here you are. You've back channeled your way in. No other student has the hustle you have. No other student has messaged them and said, I'm a big fan and I'm curious if I could do a 5-hour a week internship. That's what makes you stand out. So now they're like, look at this smart college student who's asking about internships and is proactively reaching out to us. This is how you could create an internship for yourself in a market where there aren't any. And the best part about it is you chose where you wanted to be an intern. See how that works? Getting an internship is actually not as hard as people think, especially when you can A, reframe how many hours a week you'd be working, B, target the companies you'd like to work for, and C, back channel your way to show your hustle and your individuality. That's like a walking testimonial that you're going to be a potentially good candidate for the internship. And if you're willing to be flexible and potentially do it pro bono, you still could get the work experience. Does that make sense to everybody? I will tell you, doing a pro bono internship 5 hours a week at a place you want to work at, doing the work you want to do is going to look great on your resume. And that's going to help you get that paying job when you graduate. This is the power of doing an internship, your first internship. And when you can change your mindset and think strategically about how to get one, the opportunities really are there. I am not kidding you. Because unfortunately, right now, if you're just going to default to internships that are posted on job boards, you and 10,000 other students are all applying. And you want to know who's probably getting that posted internship? Somebody at the company who knows somebody or somebody's son or daughter. That's how it is. And guess it. Welcome to the world of work. Okay. That is a reality. That is how it works. So I am teaching you a way that you can hustle your way into an internship that you really want. Yes? Are we making sense to everybody? Awesome. I hope that made sense. Questions, comments, feedback. Yeah. Not hard to do. You just got to do it. And I think that's the last piece of advice that I can give my college students is this feels uncomfortable because it's not familiar. It doesn't mean it's hard because it's actually not hard what I just proposed to do. It just feels unfamiliar. And so you want to cling to something familiar, like applying online, but that's an illusion. What would be the point of doing something familiar if it's not going to get you the results? What I'm proposing, yeah, it's stretching you out of your comfort zone. But that's the whole point. You can make this process very familiar and empower yourself because let me let you in on a little secret. This is also how you can get jobs at companies you love to work for, paying full time. So why not learn it now under the safety of getting an internship and learn how to make this type of job search familiar to you so that later on when you have to job search again, because you will have to job search multiple times in your lifetime, this technique is more familiar and more effective to you. Okay? I know we can all do it, folks. If you've got friends, you've got family, whoever who is looking for an internship, please, please, please pass this along to them because there's just so many young people out there trying to get these internships and just feel hopeless. And there are a lot of companies out there that would actually love to have them 5 hours a week that don't know how to get them. And so this is the way that you do it. This is how you bridge that gap. Awesome. Also, a friendly reminder, if you want to learn more about these types of job search techniques, it's free to do. I have a free resource center. It has over $1,000 of job search materials in it for you free. No credit card, nothing. Okay. You just get set up in the program and you've got instant access to it. And you'll find the free resource center linked down here, depending if you're watching me on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, or if you're watching on TikTok, it's up in my bio, or just go to my company, workitdaily.com. Workitdaily.com, all one word. In the menu bar, you will see free resource center. Over 10,000 people have joined this in 2 months. These are the resources that are going to get you hired. We saw what was happening. There are a lot of scams out there, a lot of really bad advice out there. We put together our 4 most valuable videos from last year in one place for you to access so that you could get these answers. You'll also get notified when I'm going live for my podcast so that you can get access to those as well. Okay. So please, I would love to have you as part of our community. It is a powerful community of 10,000 and counting. We want to get 1 million people in there, all working together and empowering one another to get those new, better paying jobs that you want and deserve. All right. So be part of the movement, be part of the Work It Daily movement. Join the free resource center. I would love to see you in there. Awesome. Okay. So I hope that made sense to everybody. That's an easy peasy one for me because I love watching young people get internships using this method. It's just it works so well. It really does. It's just an incredible. It's one of my favorite of the various back channeling techniques because it really does help them. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Kimberly on TikTok says, I joined you and followed your tips and just got a job offer from Disney. That a girl, Kimberly. Congratulations. See what I'm talking about, folks? You don't know what you don't know about job search. You did not go to job search school. I am on this app giving out free advice, doing live broadcasts because there's just so much misinformation out there, so much bad information out there, so many people doing the wrong things, and we can't help them all. Like I can't work with everybody one-on-one. But if you join the free resource center, you can start to see what I'm talking about. And of course, if you want to work with me and my team, you can join Work It Daily. And you can try it free for 7 days, right? So we've got the free resource center that for the vast majority of you, that's all you're going to need. But for those people that are looking to speed up their job search, then you could come join us at Work It Daily. You join our program free for 7 days. You come to my lives 5 times a week. You have access to my proprietary course, which is not in the free resource center. You have access to my materials and tutorials and templates, and we speed up your job search. So if you've ever wanted to try working with me and my team, this could be the week. Go to Work It Daily and grab a 7-day free trial. If you're not ready for that, though, that's what the free resource center is for. You can at least listen to some of the videos and start to understand what it's going to take for you to get a job in what is one of the worst job markets I've ever seen. But it doesn't mean you can't get hired. And Kimberly is proof. Kimberly's going to work for Disney. Oh, Kimberly, I'm so proud of you. And just remember, I just want to say this. You earned it. So we can give the advice, but only the people that believe in themselves actually put the advice to work, which means you get to celebrate. Kimberly gets to celebrate. She chose to take the advice. She chose to do the work. She gets to celebrate that job. When you get your job, we will be happy to celebrate with you. And we would be happy to help you speed it up over at Work It Daily. But you will be the one to be able to say, I did this for myself. I believed in myself. I invested in the knowledge. I, worked with JT and her team, but I did it. I did it. And that is the most empowering feeling in the world. I bet Kimberly can back that up for me, right? She will say she feels empowered because knowledge is power. And the only way you're going to overcome what you're facing in your job search right now is knowledge. The power comes from the knowledge. So this is why you come to sessions like this. This is why you join the free resource center and listen to the videos and learn. Or if you really want to speed it up, this is why you join Work It Daily. You invest a little bit of money and time with us, work with our team and me, and get results. Awesome. All right. I got to go. For all my internship folks, message me when you land your internship using these techniques. I'll be back tomorrow with another live podcast. So I hope to see all of you there. And of course, I hope I see a ton of you in the free resource center. Okay. That's the job search community. That's where we're getting it done together, right? There's safety in numbers. So don't go job search alone. If nothing else, join the free resource center so you can be part of the family. Okay. Awesome. All right, everybody. You have a good afternoon. I'll see you soon. Go get them.